My name is Rose Patterson. I'm 106 years old. I was born in 1918. I have buried everyone I ever loved. Everyone. My parents, my 3 brothers, my 2 sisters, my husband of 67 years, my son, my daughter, my best friends, my neighbors, my doctors, my lawyers, my hairdressers, even the mailman I knew for 40 years. Everyone is gone. I am the last one standing. And I'm going to tell you something that nobody talks about, something nobody prepares you for, something nobody tells you about what happens when you outlive everyone you've ever loved. It's not what you think. People see me, and they feel sorry for me. Oh, you poor thing. All alone. How sad. How lonely you must be. But they don't understand. They can't understand. Because they've never been where I am. They think the worst part about outliving everyone is the loneliness. It's not. The worst part is something else entirely. Something nobody tells you. Something I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Let me start with my mother. She died in 1962. I was 44. Cancer. Breast cancer. No treatment options then like there are now. I held her hand as she died. She was 67 years old. "Rose," she whispered, "take care of everyone." I promised I would. I had no idea what that promise would cost me. My father died 3 years later. Heart attack. 1965. He was 69. He went quickly, in his sleep. We said he was lucky. Lucky to die before the grief of losing my mother could kill him slowly. I buried him next to her. 2 graves in the cemetery. The beginning of what would become a very long row. My brother James died in 1970. Vietnam. He was 25. A war that took so many young men. Boys, really. James never got to have a family, never got to grow old. I stood at his grave and thought about how unfair life was, how the young die and the old live. I had no idea how much older I would get, how many more graves I would visit. My sister Patricia died in 1975, car accident. She was 48, left behind 3 children. I helped raise them after she was gone. Those children are gone now too, all 3, dead before me. My brother Robert died in 1978, lung cancer. He was 52. Smoked 2 packs a day for 30 years. We begged him to quit. He always said, "We've all got to die of something." He was right. But he didn't know that some of us die of everything, by watching everyone else die. My sister Mary died in 1983. Stroke. She was 59. Sudden, no warning. Healthy one day, gone the next. I was 65 then. Thought I was getting old. Thought my time was coming soon. I was wrong. By 1985, all my siblings were gone. My parents were gone. I was alone with my husband, Edward, and our 2 children. I thought the dying was over. I thought I'd paid my dues to death. I was wrong again. My son Thomas died. He was 48. Heart attack. The same age as my sister Patricia when she died. Thomas left behind a wife and 2 teenage children. I remember standing at his grave thinking, this is wrong. Children aren't supposed to die before their parents. But death doesn't follow the rules we make for it. Edward and I grieved together, held each other, tried to make sense of losing a child. "At least we have each other," he said. "At least we have Margaret." Margaret was our daughter, healthy, happy, married with 3 children of her own. She was our future, our legacy, our reason to keep going. Margaret died. Breast cancer, like my mother. She was 52. I watched my daughter die the same way my mother had died 33 years earlier. The same disease, the same suffering, the same helplessness. But by 1995, there were treatments, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. We tried everything. Nothing worked. I held Margaret's hand as she died, just like I'd held my mother's hand. 3 generations of women, all taken by the same disease. Edward was broken after Margaret died. Completely broken. "I can't do this anymore, Rose," he said. "I can't bury any more of our children." I understood. Losing both our children had destroyed something in him. But I was still strong, still fighting, still believing we could survive this. Edward died, quietly, in his sleep. He was 82. The doctor said it was heart failure, but I knew better. Edward died of grief. He died of a broken heart. We'd been married 67 years. He was my best friend, my partner, my companion, the person who understood my losses because he'd shared them. After Edward died, I was alone in a different way. Before, I'd been alone in the world, but not alone in my grief. Now I was alone in everything. I was 80 years old. Most people die around that age. I kept waiting for my turn, kept expecting the call, the diagnosis, the beginning of the end. It never came. Instead, the funerals continued. My best friend Helen died. We'd been friends for 60 years. My next-door neighbor Frank died. We'd lived next to each other for 40 years. My doctor died, Dr. Patterson. He'd been my physician for 35 years. My lawyer died. My accountant died. My hairdresser died. One by one, everyone who knew my story died. Everyone who remembered my children, my husband, my life when it was full of people. I started going to more funerals than any other kind of gathering. I became professional at grief, an expert at loss. I knew exactly what to say to widows, exactly how to comfort bereaved parents, because I'd been there, over and over and over. But nobody knew how to comfort me, because nobody had lost as much as I had. By 2010, I was 92 years old. I'd outlived almost everyone from my generation. Their children were dying now too. The grandchildren of my childhood friends were middle-aged adults I barely knew. They'd invite me to family gatherings out of kindness. "Come join us, Mrs. Patterson. You shouldn't be alone on holidays." But I was alone, even in crowds, because everyone around the table had a history together, shared memories, inside jokes. I was the outsider, the relic, the old woman they were being kind to. They meant well, but kindness isn't the same as belonging. I was 97 years old. My great-niece Sarah was getting married. She invited me to the wedding. I was the oldest person there by 20 years. At the reception, I sat at a table with people I didn't know. They made polite conversation. "How old are you, Mrs. Patterson?" 97. "Wow, you must have so many wonderful memories." And that's when it hit me. The thing nobody tells you about outliving everyone. It's not the loneliness that destroys you. It's not the grief, though both are terrible. It's something else entirely. It's that your memories become worthless. All those beautiful moments, all those shared experiences, all those inside jokes and family stories and personal histories, they die with the people who shared them. I remember my wedding day to Edward. Every detail, the dress, the flowers, the weather, the music. But I'm the only one who remembers it now. Everyone else who was there is dead. My memory of that day is complete and perfect and totally meaningless, because memories only have value when they're shared, when someone else remembers the same moment and you can look at each other and smile about it, when you can say, "Remember when," and they do remember. I remember thousands of moments that nobody else remembers. The time Thomas caught his first fish at age 7. The time Margaret sang in the church Christmas play at age 10. The time Edward surprised me with a picnic for our 25th anniversary. Perfect memories. Crystal clear. Completely alone. It's like being the only person who speaks a language. You can think in that language, you can understand it perfectly, but you can never have a conversation in it. That's what it's like to outlive everyone. Your memories become a language only you speak. I was 100 years old. The mayor came to my birthday party. The local newspaper did a story. "What's your secret to longevity?" they asked. Everyone always asks that question. They want to know about diet and exercise and positive thinking. But the real secret to longevity isn't something you do. It's something that happens to you. You survive. That's all. You survive when others don't. For no reason. By accident. By luck. There is no secret. There's just endurance. And the cost of that endurance is everything you love. The party was nice. Strangers singing happy birthday to me. Cake and flowers and good wishes. But as they were leaving, I realized something else nobody tells you about outliving everyone. Celebrations become performances. When everyone who truly knows you is gone, every interaction becomes an act. People see what they expect to see. A sweet old lady who's lived a long, full life, but they don't see the weight of all that loss, the exhaustion of surviving everything. They see longevity as a blessing. I know it as a burden. The pandemic. I was 102. Suddenly, everyone was afraid of death, especially death of elderly people. My great-great-niece called me, worried. "Aunt Rose, you have to be so careful. This virus is dangerous for people your age." I almost laughed. I'd been living with danger my entire life. Not physical danger, emotional danger. The danger of loving people you'll have to watch die. The virus couldn't take anything from me that life hadn't already taken. Everyone was isolated during the pandemic, separated from loved ones, struggling with loneliness. For most people, it was temporary, unprecedented, traumatic. For me, it was Tuesday. I'd been isolated for decades, not by choice, by survival. I was 103, a journalist called. She was writing about centenarians. "What wisdom can you share with younger generations?" she asked. I thought for a long time before answering. Finally, I said, "Love people while you have them, but don't love them so much that losing them will kill you, because you will lose them. All of them." She didn't use that quote in her article. Too dark, I suppose. Too honest. People want wisdom from centenarians to be inspirational, uplifting, motivating. But real wisdom isn't always comfortable. Real wisdom is sometimes just survival. I was 104. My physical health was still good. My mind was still sharp. But something inside me had changed. I stopped trying to connect with new people. Stopped accepting invitations to gatherings. Not because I didn't like people, but because I'd learned something terrible. Every new relationship is just another future loss. Every person you meet and care about is someone else you'll have to bury. I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't invest in people knowing how it would end. It was self-preservation, emotional survival. But it was also surrender. I was 105. A young woman named Emma started coming by to check on me. A neighbor, maybe 30 years old. She was kind, thoughtful, brought me groceries and helped with errands. We started having coffee together on Sundays. Emma was easy to talk to. She listened without trying to fix things, asked questions without judgment. For the first time in years, I started to care about someone again. And immediately, I started to worry about losing her. Not because she was sick or in danger, but because I knew how this story ends. I always outlive the people I care about. One Sunday, Emma asked me, "Mrs. Patterson, what's it like to have lived so long? What's the best part?" I thought about lying, giving her the answer she wanted to hear. Instead, I told her the truth. The best part is that I got to love so many people. The worst part is that I got to lose them all. Emma was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "But wasn't it worth it? To have loved them at all? That's when I realized something I'd never understood before. Emma was right. It was worth it. Every loss, every funeral, every grave I'd stood beside. It was worth it because the alternative was never loving anyone at all. I could have protected myself, could have kept people at a distance, could have avoided the pain of loss. But then I would have missed the joy of connection, the laughter with my siblings, the partnership with Edward, the pride in my children, the friendship with Helen. All of it was temporary. All of it ended in loss. But all of it was real while it lasted. And that's what nobody tells you about outliving everyone. Yes, you lose them all. Every single person you ever love will die before you or leave you behind. But loss is the price of love, and love is the point of living. I am 106 years old. I have buried everyone I ever loved, and I would do it all again. Because a life without love isn't a life at all. It's just existence. I may be the last one standing, but I'm standing on a foundation built by everyone I've lost. My mother's strength, my father's integrity, my siblings' laughter, my husband's devotion, my children's dreams. They're all gone, but they're all still with me. In my memories, in my values, in the person I became because I knew them. That's what outliving everyone really means. You become the keeper of their stories, the guardian of their memory, the living proof that they mattered. It's a heavy responsibility, but it's also an honor. Emma still visits on Sundays. We still have coffee. I don't know how long she'll be part of my life. Statistically, not long. But I'm not protecting myself anymore. I'm not avoiding connection because it leads to loss. Because now I understand. The loss is bearable. It's the love that makes it worth it. That's what nobody tells you about outliving everyone. You don't just survive the losses. You carry forward the love. And sometimes that's enough.